everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at the first expansion for Sorcerer's Arena called Turning the Tide. It comes with 3 characters here that are all about the ocean. I guess Stitch is kind of about the ocean. I mean, he's in Hawaii, so they're surrounded by ocean. But anyway, this is not a review of the base game. I've already done that. We're just going to take a look at these 3 characters, see what they add. Here we go. So here are the 3 characters that are included. So you see we have Stitch, Moana, and Davy Jones. And it comes with these tiles here, ocean tiles. Now, only Moana has the ability to put these tiles out. But all 3 of these characters have the ability Oceanic, which means if these tiles are on the board, when they move through them, basically they get an extra movement. And Moana's going to be able to do more with them. But this is just kind of an extra thing that's thrown in there. There's one new status effect, but that only affects Stitch, and I'll talk about it when I talk about him, the no punchbacks. So let's take a look at each character. So let's start with Moana, since I mentioned the water. Her special ability is if there are 2 or fewer ocean tiles in the arena, you put one in an unoccupied adjacent space. So she can drop these off here. And her master thing is when you place an ocean tile in the arena, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put them back in any order, or on the bottom of your deck. Okay, that's fine. 7 hit points, 5 to take her out. So that's all interesting, but it's her cards. So, for example, here she can move 3 spaces and then recovers 1 for each ocean tile in the arena. That's pretty strong. If there's 2 or few in the arena, put an extra one out. So she can put out 2 with this card. And then for each in the arena, do 1 damage to each rival on or adjacent to that tile. I like that. Here, if there's at least 1 in the arena, do 3 damage to an adjacent rival. If there's at least 2, she recovers 2. And if there's at least 3, get a victory point. Here, if there's 2 or fewer tiles in the arena, put another one out, and then move up to 3 spaces. So many of her cards are all about ocean tiles. And then she has a, move a space, do 1 for each space that she's moved, which could be extra spaces because of the ocean tiles. Do 3 damage, or 4, she's hitting you with an or move someone, an ally, to an occupied space adjacent to an ocean tile. So she's very versatile and uses these ocean tiles a lot. A fun character. Stitch is, well, Stitch is chaotic. Stitch has this no punchbacks effect that he can give people, which means they can't attack him until this is gone. He's basically immune to them. So I find that to be humorous. He's pretty strong with his skills that he has here. You banish a card from his hand to remove a status effect from him, and when he takes 3 or more damage in a phase, he gets 2 tough. And his special ability, when he does damage to a rival, they get 2 no punchbacks. So again, he's one of the toughest characters in the game, hard to kill. But he also has, well, I'll just show you. So his cards, move 3 spaces, shuffle up to 2 random cards from your discard pile in your deck. That's kind of neat. He's all about randomness. Do 4 damage to an adjacent rival. He gets 2 no punchbacks. Blue punch buggy. But he has a lot of things based on his split personality. Like he's evil or good. So if he has an odd number of hearts, do 3 damage to an adjacent rival. But if he's evil, do 4. Here, if he has an odd number, gets a point. If he's even, you get an extra action phase. If he's odd, he gets 2 strong. If he's even, he gets 2 tough. If he's odd, the number of damage he has, does 3 damage. If he's even, do 3 damage to 3 rivals. I don't know, that sort of thing's interesting because you can kind of control, I mean, not really control because he can't really damage himself. But as he takes damage, your cards are going to change in your hand. I find that to be an interesting character, and he's really tough, so good to have on a team. And finally, Davy Jones. Now, Davy Jones is easily the most complex character that exists. He's strong with 10 hit points, but he can give an ally 2 cursed, which seems like a really weird thing. And then his constant ability, if he has cursed, because he can be cursed too, whenever an ally with curse deals damage to a rival, he recovers 1. And he can even do a one-time Kraken. He can pick any space, do 3 damage each rival on that space or adjacent to that space. That's pretty cool. But then you flip the card back over, so you would have to reload it again, which is likely not going to happen. But his cards all will manipulate his curses. Move 2 spaces, he gets 2 cursed. At the beginning of your ending phase, each rival dealing damage by him gets 2 cursed. Here, he and each adjacent rival get 2 cursed. He does 1 damage to himself and to each rival with curse, so he's hurting himself to do other people. Here he gets a cursed. Draw a card and draw another card for each character in your team with cursed. Deal damage to an adjacent rival equal to the number of characters with curse plus 2. That could be really strong. Deal 3 damage. Up to 2 characters with curse recover 1 hit point. I think at this point in the game, he's the most complex character, difficult one to play. You have to learn how to curse yourself and your allies and then use that to your advantage. It can be done, and he's a good character, but you just got to keep that in mind. This is not a beginning. If I was giving these characters green, yellow, red complexity, I would give him a red. And I would think, though, that maybe Moana and Stitch I'd both give yellows to, because maybe Stitch would get a green, but again, none of these are really basic, but he is definitely more involved. Okay, so I like these characters. I'm going to like pretty much, I think, most of the characters for this set. Davy Jones is not the kind of character I normally play in games. I get that he's, interesting. Oh, he curses himself, hurts himself to hurt others. I always call that the black color of magic, that sort of thing. And that is just not my style of play, to hurt me, to hurt you. But it works. And so some people will like that. In this particular set, I like Moana the best because I like using the ocean tiles to your benefit, putting them around the board, trying to do things your opponents are like, stay away from the water. And honestly, Moana and Stitch make a good team because Stitch can get that extra movement from the water, and he's so tough. Moana's doing the backup, throwing the water out there, then Stitch just slides in and just beats the snot out of your opponents. And he's definitely not afraid to walk up because they might not be able to hurt him that much. So I really like both of those characters. But anyway, that's what's in the Sorcerer Arena's Epic Alliances Turning the Tide. This one I would give an 8 out of 10. I think they're all fun characters. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.